Hey everyone, thanks so much for being here. Coolest Firearms, Marlow, Oklahoma. It took us a minute to get it to buffer and get it to start streaming. Thank you for staying tuned. So this past weekend, Fort Worth, great show, great turnout. You might have seen this firearm that you signed up to win. This is our 7.5-inch PDW, Cerakoted in Northern Lights. We can thank Logan for choosing the color this week. That's one of our most popular colors. Beautiful color combination. Thanks again to Michelle, Premier Gun Shows, for putting this on. And Tim, thank you so much. So we're going to draw our winner. We're going to click the little button here. We're going to do the countdown. We'll get that done real quick. 10 seconds. Remember, you have 5 minutes. 5 minutes to answer the phone. Or Allie's going to shoot you a text message. We need correspondence in the first 5 minutes, or else we're going to go on to the next person. So 4, 3, 2, 1. And our winner this week is Alejandro B. Alejandro B. Allie's going to pull your information up and give you a phone call. So this week, I wanted to talk a little bit about height over bore. But first, we wanted to touch base on a couple of projects we talked about last week. One was our dust door. Guess what? It's done. Billet dust door is going to be coming stock on all of our firearms coming out of the factory. We're running our first test production batch right now. All billet cut out of 7075. Got a stainless steel detin here. It's never going to rust. Locks in firmly. Never going to come out. Bingo. And on the top side, you have a set screw. It's an adjustment screw. You can adjust your plunger tension. So if you're having an issue with it hopping open on you, if you're on the trail, or if you want it a little bit lighter when you're running that charging handle back. But it's all done, starting from a block like the rest of our firearm parts and ending up as a finished part. So in relationship to height over bore, we're getting ready for hunting season. We're getting ready to head out there shooting. You just purchased one of your coolest PDWs. We're putting an optic on top of the rail.
I believe this beat Alejandro B. This is Allison calling from Coolest Firearms.
She's leaving Alejandro a message right now. We'll start that timer in 5 minutes. So you have our holosun on that. It's a common and customary optic that we run on almost every gun of ours, the holosun. They're rigid, very cost-effective, solar-powered, battery-powered, titanium shield. Excellent, excellent optic. But when you're mounting an optic, your bore line, where the bullet's transiting, and your sight line are two different planes. Your bore line is where the bullet's going down the barrel, and your sight line is what you're looking at. So when you mount an optic, and if we had shot this firearm and we had a target right in front of the muzzle, obviously the distance between the center of the bore and the optic, your point of impact is going to be much lower. Now, if we start stretching this target out, at what point does the bullet meet the sight line? Because if we know sight line is always a plane, it never changes, it's straight, keeps running. Bore line is where the bullet's transiting. These two are going to converge. At what distance do we want it to converge? Well, you want it to be at the height of the bullet and its trajectory. So let's just take 300 blackout. 300 blackout, height of trajectory based on speed, somewhere around 100, 150 yards, is where that bullet is no longer going to be able to be going up and it's going to be going down. So it's going to be at the height of its crown. So you'd want to have your optic zeroed at the point where the bullet's at the height of the crown. Let me show you on the whiteboard real quick what I'm talking about. So, excuse the rudimentary here.
Hi,
so if this is your bore line, and this is your sight line, right? This is where your eyeball is looking this direction. These two are two different planes.
Out of hundreds of people, we picked you. It was a
So this, if you have to tip up the muzzle and then your sight line, right? So does it make kind of sense? You actually have to have the muzzle, the bullet's going to be transiting up. Your sight line is transiting straight. And these two are going to converge at a particular point. This point, where the bullet's now going to crown and start dropping off, is your ultimate place where you want to have your gun zeroed at. So let's just say that's 100 yards. If you were shooting at, let's say, 50 yards, and this isn't exactly the proportion, but this is just for educational purposes. If you're at 50 yards, you can see that if this is your point of impact and this is where you're looking, you may not want to make that adjustment on your optic. You may need to hold over. So you may need to be using your optic and looking up here if they wanted your point of impact to be there. So you may want to be looking up a bit so your bullet has the trajectory and is on target. So keep in mind, all these planes are important when you're zeroing your gun. You choose the distance that you want to be your zero. Understand that before and after you're going to have to use holdover. And now you can get to the range and have some good times. With that, I want to show you one more quick little thing. Save yourself some money at the range. Get yourself a good bore sighter. This is made by Sightlight. It's an older generation, but it still works great. It projects a dot. You would take that and put it in the muzzle of your firearm. And then you would look through your optic. You would look at the dot. And at that point, you would be able to bore sight your firearm. But bore sighting at 15 feet isn't really the distance. You should be bore sighting your gun at the appropriate distance that you're going to want to be shooting it at. And if you haven't seen this new Blackberry, this is a proprietary color here at Coolest Firearms, something I made. It has absolutely been our #1 seller over the last few weeks. It's beautiful. It's purple, but it's not. It's got shimmer. It's absolutely excellent. This coming weekend, we're going to be in Mesquite at the rodeo. Please show up. It's going to be an amazing show. We're going to have multiple displays, lots of guns, a lot of great information. Look forward to seeing you there.